Hi everyone, welcome. I have Bentley on my lap here, so he'll make an appearance shortly, probably. All right, how is your day? How is your week? Do anything fun? Anything fun planned? So as we're heading into summer, the hot days of summer. All right, so today we're going to talk about music therapy. It's one of my favorites outside of animal therapy. I know I don't have to tell you guys about animal therapy. So yes, music therapy. I'm sure all of you do this already. So I'm just here to confirm that you need to keep doing it and the benefits behind it. So to prove that you need to keep doing it. So, all right. So music therapy. There are two types of music therapy. There is receptive and active. Receptive involves listening to pre-selected music or live performances. Active encourages participation in music, making activities like singing, playing an instrument, or songwriting. We're going to focus on receptive today. We're going to do active next week. So some of the benefits include reduces stress and anxiety, release of tension and promotes relaxation. Studies have shown that it can significantly decrease emotional exhaustion and improve your mood, obviously. I guess we all kind of know that. I mean, a song can either make you happy or sad, right? Excited, get you going, or not. It also can provide a greater sense of well-being. So one study published by Wiley showed that a specifically designed music program reduced burnout symptoms. Excuse me. Can't read my handwriting sometimes. It reduced burnout symptoms after just 5 weeks. Think about that. A specifically designed music program reduced burnout symptoms after just 5 weeks. Yes, there's a study. It's in the book, but you have to have like a membership or something to get into it to see the full study. Either way, I will post that in the description soon. Like I said, I'm getting to that. Just bear with me. We're trying to get a couple of things done. So a couple examples with music therapy. So in my previous work life, I was a retail manager, and the company did this really cool thing. They were providing with certain stores who had hit certain goals or whatever. Their district manager our district manager could choose what stores had it. They hired a DJ to put in the store for a couple of hours. And they were also kind of doing the study as well. So what was interesting and what they found out was with this DJ in the store, it promoted people to spend more time in the store, to shop more, and they purchased more. So it's called conversion. So our conversion rate in ADT, average dollars, our sales were higher, our conversion rate was higher during those specific hours because of the music that was playing with the DJ. So conversion is meaning like if you have like 10 people walk into a store and only 5 people purchase something and the other 5 didn't, you have a 50% conversion rate, which is a very high conversion rate, by the way. But just to give you an idea. So my point being that the music provided the positive energy, positive vibes, positivity for these people to relax, want to slow down, shop more. People are happy, they tend to spend more money, right? So that's what they found out. Very interesting. Another example, which I highly recommend, if you if you are managing a veterinary clinic, if you're working one, like recommend this to whoever owns or medical director or whatever. I highly, highly recommend what I'm about to say now. Some years time, oh God, I think it was back in 2006, 2007. Music therapy actually was a thing. Studies obviously hadn't caught up to it at the time. There's been more studies now, but than there were back then. But my grandmother had to have quadruple bypass. We were in the lobby or waiting room, waiting for her surgery. This particular hospital had, I believe it was a celloist. For some reason, I'm thinking it was a cello, but she came in and she played the instrument, and she was there for set amount of hours or whatever. And this was really nice. Like, she played. She asked for any request, like if she could play it, she played it, and it was lovely because you stopped focusing on why you were there. Like, it helped relax people. It helped release the tension, release the stress. Like, you weren't sitting there counting the seconds that turned into minutes, that turned into hours, where every minute feels like an hour at that time. So you kind of have the same concept with your clients. They're sitting in the waiting room, especially like in an emergency setting or urgent care setting. Like, I definitely recommend this. I don't think, granted, I may be wrong if you guys do experience this more, also experience this in regular daytime practice, but it doesn't mean you couldn't do it, or even like shelters. But I think, you have your clients sitting there, even if they're sitting there waiting to be seen, or even waiting to hear from you because they decide to wait in the lobby while things are going on. However you have your clinic set up, if they wait in the room or if they wait in the lobby. And sometimes, even if they wait in the room, sometimes they'll walk out and still wait in the lobby versus the room, because some people are just like that. They need a little bit more open space, or it just does them mentally. They do mentally better in the lobby versus sitting in a small room. Or sometimes there's like a TV or something. Anyways, people are different. But so my point being, like, your clients are doing, have that. If you have like somebody come in and play an instrument, first of all, the clients, to them, it's going to reduce the wait time. Though physically it doesn't, but mentally it will. Or perspective wise, it will make them feel it, because they're not stressing as much over the animals, but it's also providing that healing energy for the animals that are sitting in the lobby as well. You also do, even if they're waiting for test results, procedures, or whatever, and a lot of times, like, you all are so busy in the back that sometimes some things prevent you from going out there to let them know what the test results were, unless obviously it's something dire and you need to get permission to get procedures going, or the next procedure going. But to them, it won't seem as long that they were waiting as long, like on those test results or on that procedure. And so I definitely recommend, like, you mentioning this to like someone that, either doing it, if you're in the clinic, doing it in your clinic, or, sorry, a hawk just like flew by the window. It was really cool. Or, mention it to who owns the clinic. You can always partner. So if there's a college in town, see if they have a music therapy program or music program. So whether they play, instruments or whatever, a lot of times you can partner with them and say, hey, are music therapy, would one of, your students be interested in signing up and coming playing in our lobby for, X amount of hours or whatever. Like, partner with the school, partner with the program's director. Even if it's just music program, it doesn't specifically have to be music therapy program, it can just be a music program, because that gives them more playing time to be able to come in and play. And then maybe you can do something, set up as a volunteer hours or something like with the school or with the program director. So definitely reach out. If you do not have a college in your area, I would definitely do there's always like a music teacher, like somebody who teaches music, and look them up and reach out to them to see if that's something they may be interested in. Like I said, they don't have to be specifically in music therapy. They just have to play an instrument and be willing to come sit in the lobby and play for people who come in. I think it would be great. And also, it helps the animals, it helps your clients, it'll help kind of put them in a little bit, despite the situation that they're in, help them with their mood just a little bit, even with, dealing with it. I understand people are upset about their animals. But also too, let's go back to music therapy for you. Like, how many of you, like surgeons, if you're a surgeon or if you're working with a surgeon, know that they go into the surgical room, operation room, and play music. And what kind of music do they play? A lot of times that just helps them focus more and just calm down and do what they need to do, because you just kind of get in this routine. Again, like I said, I know I've mentioned like Grey's Anatomy. They're talking about like scrubbing in, and they're talking about these songs that they sing, because that's, a certain amount of time that they have to do to scrub in. So do you have something that you play? If you do, like, leave in the comments, like what scrub song do you use, or what music do you listen to, like when you're in the operation room, or have you heard, a surgeon listen to in the operating room? It's, to help with that. And so, I always, we listen to classical music all the time. We have it playing all the time. Sean's always liked classical music, but I've kind of gotten him more into it and listened to it more. We both grew up to it, listening to the Looney Tunes. I'm sure most of you have. But I've also played the violin, so that was also my introduction into classical music. So it broke it down more. And, with that, I've also helped introduce him to like people like Yo-Yo Ma. He's a celloist. If you don't like just the typical classical music, like it would put you to sleep, he has this one called Appalachian Trail that kind of puts more of a bluegrassy twang to it. It's really interesting and neat. And of course you have like things like, I call it like Bridgerton. If you don't watch the Bridgerton, anyway, but they basically took pop music and they play it with an orchestra and kind of added a beat to it. And funny enough, when we lived in Charleston, one of our neighbors was a professional celloist. And we were talking one day, and it was lovely. Like sometimes, like every now and then we could hear her play through the wall. And she stopped us and she asked us, we're like, no, we really can hear you. Every now and then we can, but we're fine with it. Like that's, we have no problems with it. And like, we want to hear more. But we were chit-chatting, and she plays, what they play is they played the Bridgerton style music. Like she has her own company where they play at weddings and events, and they play pop music on an orchestra setting. And so that's what they play. That's all they play. They don't play classical music. And she was funny. She was like, she's like, people were like, I want the Bridgerton style music. And she's like, I've never even watched Bridgerton. I don't know what they're talking about. And so I explained to her, she's like, but we do that anyways. And so it was really interesting. But there's different ways, different music. You also have like the acoustic guitar. I love the acoustic guitar, jazz, reggae, like to me, I feel like you throw reggae on any day, is going, like, people are just gonna mellow out, period. Like, that's just one of those, like, it's, to me, reggae is kind of like, when Outkast plays Hey Ya, you have to dance. Like, it just makes you dance. Whereas then reggae just like mellows you out. That's just how I feel. I mean, I'm sure it has different effects for different people, but that's how I feel. And so, yes. And it's just, I know, my husband, he plays the 80s station, like when he's in, in doctor's office writing medical records, or at the computer writing medical records. He has the 80s station playing. Yes, we're 80s, 80s babies. But, which I love the 80s, I love the 90s. And, I know before, like when he was in college, like he listened to heavy metal, like that's what calmed him. Like, figure out what does it for you, like what takes you away from everything. What music takes you away from having to remember that horrible day you just had. Get what music will get you out of that. You need something that will take you away from that, so that what I say, and like, what I like to say is, to me, like, if you're listening to that music, your brain is subconsciously processing your horrible day, where you don't have to emotionally deal with it at that time. And then once it's processed, then you can go through and work through it yourself without having overwhelming emotions. That's just, that's how I feel that it does. That's what I feel that it does. If there's a study out there that says that, I haven't found it, I don't know, but that's just how I feel, and what I feel about it. And that's, I love music, listening to music, highly recommend it. And so, yeah, or go to a performance, do something, but just, listen to music. All right. So just to get you out of it, even if it's, to get you through it. And hey, if you're in a hospital setting, you have music playing, like, this is also healing to the animals as well. It's helping them calm and be relaxed. I'm a huge believer in that. We constantly have, like I said, have classical music playing, or some kind of form of calming music, nature sounds or something for our animals. When we had both our Chihuahuas, Bentley and Dresden, we had a short-haired Chihuahua as well. We would put them in this little carrier. One of the technicians that Sean used to work with called them the bag of Chihuahuas. So we thought that was really cute, because they were in the same little carrier together. Like, if I would take them to work, I would leave my phone back there, and I would play meditation music for them, or nature sounds for them. One, to help them, calm them in an environment that they're not used to, and the fact that I'm not back there with them the whole time, but also to help calm them with any noises, unfamiliar noises that they hear around them. And so, and then again, like I said, I'm a huge believer in music heals. Sean and I, when we went to the Southern Christmas show many years ago, there was this booth there. We ran into this lady. Her husband is he plays the acoustic guitar. His name's Don Thompson. She swears up and down that he literally healed her, or helped her get in remission, healed her through his music. Like, she would sleep and he would play by his bedside. The CD I just showed you, Autumn, she swears that was the one that he created while she was going through this, and she went in remission. And so I'm a firm believer in, music heals. So, it could help. Not only can it help you with your burnout in that setting and help you deal with any emotional things that may arrive, it also can help your patients heal a little easier. It helps calm them, because, as you all know, when they're calm and they're not anxious, they're healing. So same thing. Music will help them do that, help calm them do that. So, into, another one I definitely recommend, George Winston. He was a pianist, classical pianist. He was a quite nice friend of ours. He unfortunately passed away of cancer a couple years ago. 2 years now. 2 years. Anyways, he loved playing the piano, and just, his music is so calming. Though granted, some places will classify him as new age. I wouldn't. I would classify him more as classical. He did the cover of the Doors. I mean, he does some rock and roll on the piano. It's really nice. And he does everything from blues, jazz. He does covers. He's done covers. He's composed music. He still has CDs coming out because he was working on this before he had passed, of getting some new ones together and putting them out. So his estate is doing that and working on that. So that is, yeah. So definitely recommend that. So yes, again, leave in the comments, what is your music style? What's your favorite artist? Like, what do you listen to if you're scrubbing in? What are you listening? Let us know what works for you, because it may work for somebody else. It may help somebody else that they hadn't even thought of. So that's what we're here to help everybody. I'm also here to confirm that, more than likely you're already doing this, to keep doing it, because it helps you with burnout. And that's what we want to do. We want to help you either work through your burnout or prevent the burnout. We also want to make sure you know that you are cared for, you are loved, you are greatly appreciated with the things that you are able to do for our animals, our loved ones. Please keep in mind, I know people can be harsh with things that they say. I know that they, with reviews and everything, sometimes you just have to take it with a grain of salt. I know it's hard to not let it get to you, but remember, one, sometimes these people are idiots. First and foremost, a lot of times they don't always put the full story in there. But two, also remember that as pet parents, like, we're not as knowledgeable with medical with the animals as you are. And unlike kids, they can't tell us what's wrong. We just can see and feel that something's wrong. So it's really scary because we don't know what we can do to help them. So, and I'm not saying that justifies for anybody being mean, rude, or anything, but just remember that, a lot of times these people, they don't know and don't realize what you go through, and they need to. I know. We're working on that. But anyways, I say all that in a sense that we both say that you are loved. We appreciate the work that you do. You are appreciated. You would be greatly missed if you were gone. And remember, if you need assistance, you have Lifeboat peer-to-peer within 24 hours through NOMV, Not One More Vet. By the way, they do have a YouTube channel. They post videos every now and then that could be helpful. So don't hesitate to check them out. You also have, you can call or text 988. I will keep saying that as long as I know that it's up. I keep seeing things with the political environment we're in that may or may not go away. I'm not sure, but right now you have 988, or you can text 741-741, text home to that. So however, you need to put both of those numbers in your phone so that, God forbid, if you should ever need it, you have it. Code it however you know that you would need it. All right. And until then, take care. All right. And know that you are loved, and thank you for what you do.